다소 심제 점점 초선도와 진결라도서 철람돈도와 진결라도서 람트버서와 진결 트버의 주조 차월 진결라도서 So please take a deep breath. Exhale all our tension. Relax. And then we cultivate the mind of enlightenment to achieve complete Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. And we rejoice our opportunity that we have this time to reflect on the precious teachings of the Buddha, which is the nature of wisdom and compassion. So these are the real direct cause for our peace and happiness. So there are so many teachings, there are so many books to read, to study, and to practice. And we are just reflecting one of the important books, The Way of the Bodhisattvas, or the Way of the Bodhisattva's life. Yes, engaging in Bodhisattva behaviors. So there are 10 chapters on this, so we're just touching the first chapter. The benefit of the bodhicitta if we practice. So this is important. If we understand what bodhicitta is about, and then if we make effort to cultivate this mind, once we cultivate this mind, then we practice through the 6 paramitas, 6 perfections. The perfection of generosity, perfection of moral ethics, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration, and wisdom awareness. So these are the method, a direct method to perfect the mind, that bodhicitta that we have cultivated. The perfect means there's 2 perfection. Perfection of purification and the perfection of the establishment of the excellent qualities. The purification, basically there are 2 obscurations we face. Obscurations, the mental afflictions, and obscurations of the knowledge to realize, to see that. So mental afflictions based on the ignorance, then from there manifest all the different mental afflictions, see. In the 400 stanzas of Ayadeva mentioned, our body, see, there are 5, first of all, there are 5 senses. The eyes organ, the eye organ, ear, nose, tongues, and body. So within this, the body organ, senses, is the pervades all the rest of the other senses, organ. When the body organ is there, or say the senses is there, then all the other functions. Likewise, said all the mental afflictions are alive, fresh, because of the ignorance. When the ignorance is taken care of, purified, all the rest mental afflictions cease to exist. So, as today, this morning, as we have read, we desire to free from the suffering, but we chase the suffering. We desire to have the peace, happiness, joy, but we destroy them as if they were enemy due to ignorance. So our study, practice, so much we should focus. We should engage how to reduce the ignorance and all the mental afflictions, as we have these few days been doing. We suffer so much because of the mental afflictions, mental delusions. Of course, from other causes, condition, we suffer, but it's occasion, not everyday life. But in everyday life, we go through difficulties, suffering, obstacles, mostly through the mental afflictions, you see. So Dharma is designed to purify these mental afflictions. No one from outside can help us. No. I have to manage myself, how to relate to this. Buddha can give us technique, method, all this how we should do, but then we are the one have to implement, practice it. As last year I mentioned this, a mother whose child was died, and then she could not handle that. She could not accept, because that's only her child, and she was thinking there must be somebody who can help her to bring back the life of the child, because she could not accept. She can't eat, she can't get sleep, only thinking about the child, as if all her happiness is the child. When the child died, all her happiness is gone. So she was going to, wandering place to place, looking for solution to somebody who can help me to bring back the life of child. So she went around so many places, met many different spiritual teachers and others. Nobody could help her. At the end, she met Buddha, and she explained same as to other teachers. So Buddha saw very precisely her own mental confusion, delusion, in giving her the suffering. The condition is met by the child's death, but actually her mind. So Buddha saw she needs more help than the child who's dead, died. So to help the child, Buddha skillfully instead of saying, no, I can't help you, just to help her. So Buddha said, let's try. Try to get a handful of mustard seed from this village, from a house that nobody died. No, then maybe we can see something. So she was so excited. She thought there must be a house that nobody died, and I can get a handful of mustard seed, and I'll be so happy because the Buddha will bring the life of the child. So she went round house to house, asking every house, please give me a handful of mustard seed if nobody died from your house. So in relation to this, everyone said, somebody died. Their grandparents, or their parents, or their child, everyone expresses their agony, pain, losing their family, So she couldn't find any house that nobody died. First she was frustrated because she was so excited there must be some house to find, But at the same time, when she heard of every individual's, their mental pain, their suffering, how they lost their family members, so she said, oh, it's not just only my child. Everyone dies. Some dies old, some dies young. Some dies when they're young. Child, So she kind of heard just so heavy burden of the mental that she has is kind of like alleviated, kind of like disappear. Even though, of course, she really wants her child back. So then she went back to Buddha, said, I couldn't find. So Buddha, so aware, understood that her heart was much lighter than before. So Buddha reinforced, you see. Anybody who are born in the world, one day they die, when they're young or old. We all have to. This is the nature of the life. So once you died, you have to accept. Everyone is impermanent. So then, because of Buddha's skillful method, compassion, the wisdom, and she felt so good, light. Buddha said, this is not the end of your life. There's so much things you can do. There's so many ways to you feel yourself better. So this is how you see wisdom and compassion can help how to accept the difficulties when we face. Even though Buddha couldn't make her happy, bringing the life of her child, but Buddha helped her to accept what was going through, and that she could handle it, feel better, like these things. So we all should have this kind of way. That's the cause why the teachings are where we need. Sometimes we feel if this is not substitute or not solve this problem, I cannot survive. But we should learn. If we can solve it, of course we should do this. But sometimes we cannot. So we have to learn how to accept it. How to accept it, and instead of making mess, just get a wisdom how to handle it more positively, and enhance our wisdom, enhance our compassion, develop. So this practice of love and compassion is not just spiritual. Whether those spiritual or non-spiritual, everybody needs them. It's a way how to free from suffering. It's a way how to handle things, how to get help for ourselves, and how to give help to others. So what I'm saying here is our focus is to purify our mind. See? That's the most important. Look at our limitation. There's a lot of limitation we have in our mind. So those limitations, those mental afflictions can only we can get the help through the Dharma that Buddha taught. Each and every mental obscurations that we have, that we study them, put into practice, and purify. That's our principal focus. So in this text, later mentioned, there are so many methods, there are so many practices, but the one most important is to train our mind. Training the mind is the most important. Sometimes we study, we get good understanding, this and that, but if our mind being arrogant, it doesn't solve the problem. I have a lot of theory. So this Buddha said this Buddha said in this sutra, Buddha said in this sutra, Buddha said this in this. Oh, this I have quotations. But then if my mind is arrogant, so what is helpful? So at the time of Milarepa, some logicians came. Milarepa looks awful, very skinny, a ragged cloth, filthy, unclean, skeleton-like. And there are some logicians, expert in the logic, sutras, So they were thinking, Milarepa, who knows nothing, still people respect, make offering to him. So this is a disgrace to Buddha's teaching. We should get rid of him, from here. But we can't say, just go away, debate with him. Then he'll be lost. Then he will go away, So they went to Milarepa. So we are so happy you are here. Now we have to discuss the Dharma. So Milarepa said, I have no need to discuss. I have discussed everything. Then And they said, how you know you have finished everything, completed, you know? On the base of this text, there's a logic text. Then we debate, you know. Milarepa said, just please leave me alone. So you go your way and let me stay here in my cave, you know. I don't bother anybody, you know. I just simply stay in my cave. And they still won't listen, you know. And then Milarepa said, whether you finish your debate or not finish your debate, look at the mind. No, I met a valid teacher. No valid, no perfect teacher. And I have a strong renunciation, a valid renunciation. And I received such profound teaching from my master. And I went to retreat. And for years, so I purify my mental obscurations. And I'm free from samsara. So that's why I finish my debate, you know. I have nothing to debate now. Still they insist, who knows who's finished or not finished. On the base of this text, we debate. If you don't know, let us know. We will help you how to debate. No? So since Milarepa was meditating so much, no, his meditation was so solid, profound. He can change anything, no, into anything. No. So then finally Milarepa said, if you are not going to listen to me, you know, I'll ask you a question. What do you think of this rock that I'm sitting here? Is it solid or not solid or empty? No. And they said, why are you asking this question, you know? And he said, this is obvious in front of us. No. And then they said, they said, you know, rock is solid, you know. Rock is rock, hard, you know. It's solid, you know. So then Milarepa meditated. It's called space-like meditation. Everything into nature of space. He meditated there. You know. Then he flew, and he went through the rocks back and forth. And he lifted a big piece of rock, throw on them. And then there fell nothing, like it's only space. No. Then he released the meditation that. So I said, what do you think? And they said, maybe you are showing some black magic. Everybody knows rock is solid. And Milarepa says, today you got the witness. The rock is not solid. So you made a fool of everyone today. The solid rock that you felt nothing today. Nothing but space, you know. So then Milarepa said, what do you think the space is solid or empty? They're shaking head. This is a strange, you know. There's another one, he said, this is really kind of, you know, something is going on, you know, which we haven't thought of, you know. So just as you made the rock space, can you make the space as a solid? So Milarepa meditated on it's called Vajra-like meditation. He just leaped and sat on the space and meditated. So he said, now move. And they could not move, at all. Milarepa walked back and forth on the space. So then Milarepa released that meditation. So what do you think, This is, they said, this is very strange. So now you see, he said, Milarepa said, you made a fool of your teacher and everyone today, The rock is nature of space, empty. The space is like a solid, So I say, what saying is purify the mind. How much you know, that is not the measurement. How much you have practiced. So practice the Dharma. So here also, I'm just, saying, nowadays everywhere, the community of the monks and nuns getting less and less, you see. So the lay people have more responsibility than before to study, practice Dharma. Like so in the West, a lot of lay people are taking interest in the Dharma, They are meditating, they have retreat, practicing. Here also in Asia, also we need study this precious Dharma teaching and practice, so that Buddhism will continue for the future. Especially the Bodhisattva practice. Lay people need more emphasis on this. You see, even at the time of Buddha, later, most of those Bodhisattvas are lay people, like Avalokiteshvara, Manjushri. They dress as lay people, Indian cloth. Of course, they are monk Bodhisattva as well. The 8 Bodhisattvas wearing crown, you see, silk robes. Those are lay people. So we need to pay attention. Bimalakirti. You have heard of Bimalakirti? Yes. So he was at the time of Buddha, was lay people. He was, there's a sutra called Bimalakirti Niderisha Sutra. So gifted wisdom. Even Shariputra could not comprehend his wisdom. Debate with Shariputra. Then Shariputra said, now I don't have more to talk about. Now go ask Manjushri, you go with him to talk to him. And Manjushri discussed with Bimalakirti. And then Manjushri also said, now I finish. So then like that you see, just lay people, So like that, see, we lay people need a lot of our now to hold the Dharma teachings, practice, Anyhow, now to continue this leftover, some stanzas we have. I've just we said, Pesi. I just read verses 30, isn't it? Who drive away the darkness of their ignorance. What virtues could be matched with theirs? What friend could be compared to them? What merit is there similar to this? No. So now 31. If some consider as worthy of praise, even someone who's paid back for helping, what need to mention a Bodhisattva who does good without seeking anything in return? Now, Bodhicitta. Now here's Bodhisattva talking about. Bodhisattva is who has the bodhicitta, who have cultivated that mind, is Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattvas who have bodhicitta, what they do. So if someone who returns a favor is deserving of some praise, you have done something good. You help that person, and then that person have not forgotten what you help. And after some time, that person comes. You have been so kind. You have done this to me. So I want to do this for you. And then we will say, you are so thoughtful. You have not forgotten what I did. You are really a decent person. You are such trustworthy person. Will praise. So that's it's returning something that you have done something to help that person. Otherwise, you helped so much, and when that person got better, then never looks at you, and you feel this person is shameless. When he or she needs, I have helped so much. Now even never look at me, we say that. So those who are helping back to you, doing something, repaying your kindness, we appreciate. We talk about that, say that person is really good, So now here's a Bodhisattva. Without asking any help, they come help sentient beings. See, what friend could, they say, why need we speak of Bodhisattva, those who do good, even, is this right? Yeah, even unsolicited, even we have not asked to do. Bodhisattvas, they give, what best help is teaching, helping, how to purify our mind. She tells you, why not you read this book? Maybe just do some meditation practice. When somebody is mentally suffering so much, maybe do this, think this way, and you feel much better. That's the best help. You can help material things, but when that's finished, then you need more, because it's finished. The wisdom you have given will never finish. Only grow. No? More wisdom, more compassion. That helped me so much. Now I will study more. I will read more. I will practice. No? So not only helping problem of this life, but eventually to achieve enlightenment, Buddhahood. So what better we can help? No? So making effort to get rid of our mental delusion, the root cause of all the suffering in the samsara. No? So meditate on this. It's not just today, this life, but life after life. Life after life. Bodhisattva has no special place to go except to reborn in the world to help others. Whether recognized or not recognized, doesn't matter. No? Can emanate in any form. The great Bodhisattvas. No? Even if some individual needed bridge, they become bridge. If somebody needs shelter, then they become shelter. When this hot weather, cold breeze appears and helps. When they're so cold, some sunshine. You know? All the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, their activities are infinite. We cannot measure. See? So therefore we take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Bodhisattvas, you see. So meditate those, you see. We cannot say Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, their activities come through this way, not through this way. From anything is possible. Even sometimes we go through such hardship, difficult. Then you say, what should I do? You look around for solutions, and you end up meeting Dharma, and then you met Dharma. Oh, that helped me to free from this problem. So that pain gave you the opportunity to wake up your mind. So that's the Buddha's blessing. So Buddha's blessing can come through painful experience. No? From the wisdom, from the compassion, it can come from any. But we have to know how to handle this. We have to know how to take advantage of this. When there's a painful experience comes, instead of aversion we have, instead of we hate that, so how I can solve it? What kind of wisdom I need? How to utilize this? We should learn that. Because everything is emptiness anyway, Blissful experience, likewise painful experience, both are emptiness equal. No? So our mind should be free. Should have a space, to utilize this. So, if someone here who returns a favor is deserving of some praise, why need we speak of Bodhisattvas, those who do good even unsolicited? So 32, where is now? People honor as someone who acts constructively, someone who gives for only a short while, merely a morsel of maker food, in a demeaning manner to a few wandering beings, stationing them for half a day just to fulfill your desire. Now here, people praise as virtuous donors those who with contempt support, a few with a plan and ordinary food, a moment gift that feeds of only half a day. So some individuals say, today I will give food. A group of people, like say 100, 1,000, and then he or she is just bossing around, I'm the donor. You have to respect, Then people say, oh, this person is sponsoring to the whole lunch, so generous, respect. What a great, we praise, so much. Now, say, this is the fourth, now Bodhisattva 33 say, what need to mention someone who constantly looks to give for an eternity of time, the peerless bliss of the blissfully gone Buddhas, to endless number of limited beings, fulfilling the wishes of all their minds. So what do they mention? As mentioned, Bodhisattvas, they reborn life after life, life after life. They are not looking for themselves, how I can become famous, how I can become rich, but only they are thinking how I can help sentient beings, how other sentient beings can be happy, how they can be free from suffering. Not looking anything to return for return. It's great Bodhisattvas. We don't pay attention to those. So we have to see it. You never know who's a great practitioner, who's not. Difficult to judge. But Bodhisattvas, because they don't raise, say, I'm great. No, I'm doing these things. They simply do. Make effort and stay quiet. Again, there's a short account of Milarepa's life. One day he went and he arrived at the monastery. There's a monk quarter, So there was one monk. He is planning to do some business next day, So the whole night he was thinking, now tomorrow I will do this business. From this I will make this money. From this I will make this money. He was thinking, So then he got a very short time to sleep. And he just got up in the morning, he chanted some prayers, said some refuge prayers, chanted some mantras, And then he got a cup of tea as I walked out from his door, opened the door, and Milarepa was sleeping next to his doorstep, And he shocked, who's this in here? What is doing here? And he knows that he's some kind of practitioner, a yogi, So then he scolded, "You're still sleeping here? You can't get up a little earlier, do some meditation, And the Milarepa says, kind of a little bit to wake up, so he's kind of fresh his head, so rubbed his head. Yeah, he said, usually I used to get up a little earlier, but last night I didn't get good sleep. So what happened? Then he told Milarepa, kind of told things that what he was thinking, So last night I was thinking this, so I couldn't get good time to sleep. So the monk was so embarrassed, So like this, Now there was the Milarepas. Oh, must be something, But that time, people treat him so badly because he was not clean, not showing some high lama, not so much entourage. His clothes was so dirty and filthy and not new, So then, So misjudge, So we never know the great teachers like that, you see. So what I'm saying is we cannot judge outside, but bring bodhicitta in your heart. And then see, that individual can help Buddha's teaching life after life, life after life. See. This is a very important point. Then what we have is here 34, I think. With the wishes of all their minds. The sages have said that if someone generates negative thoughts toward a philanthropist, offspring of the triumphant like that, that person will remain in a joyless realm for as many aeons as the number of negative thoughts that were spent. So this means we cannot judge anybody. We have to protect our mind. We cannot say this is better than this. So especially not give rise anger, hatred. Sometimes we judge and then say bad things about the Bodhisattva, and that causes us to born in the hell realm. Hear what is said. All those who harbored evil in their mind against such lords of generosity, means Bodhisattva is generous. Always practice generosity. Because what it means, as mentioned, generosity, practice of generosity doesn't mean give wealth. They give peace, they give happiness, they give wisdom. No? See, life after life, they give enlightenment. That's the highest practice of generosity. You know. So look at the Buddha, how Buddha worked hard to help sentient beings. So we are taking refuge in the Buddha. So we should follow the footsteps of the Buddha. And then we exercise, cultivate Buddha's mind in our heart, and then give Buddha's wisdom to others. That's the best gift. No. So such individuals who are doing this, no, still if we criticize them out of hatred, now there's a way, you see. If no, so you want to correct, so this is important. You feel they should be doing a little better than this, out of concern of Buddha's teaching, out of concern of that individual. So maybe this is not right way. No, you should change. Do better this than you should do better than this. So that kind of is not out of hatred, but out of, say, concern. But the others you want to destroy out of hatred. No, they're saying, out of your hatred, then you want to destroy. That is, every moment of your thoughts becomes the cause to born in the lower realm. See? Otherwise you cannot speak, you cannot talk. Then there are some who will take advantage. So it's good to see, we have to have this pure motivation, out of concern of the Buddha's teaching, out of concern that people who are so ruined by this, then you give suggestions, ideas. This is not the right way. It doesn't help. That's one, But if you say with hatred, anger, out to destroy them. So you understand these 2 points? Sometimes we kind of difficult to judge, difficult to say, So our anger, hatred, resentment, these all are subject to purify. We have to purify them. We have to make them, there's no place for them in our heart. No. This anger, hatred, resentments not only ruin your mind, but it ruins your health. See? When you live your mind joyfully, happily, you just make your life, make your life such kind of light, enjoying the Dharma. So I'm so fortunate. I have the Bodhisattva in my life. See, that will make our mind very healthy mind, ready to help others. And by the way, say this, the transmission I received from Kunu Rinpoche, if you have heard of, in Bodhi Gaya, I think 1973, something like that. So he was like a Milarepa, no possession. He has no place to stay, He just go around, One time, I don't know where, This was, he passed away February of 1977. No? So somewhere in the 70s, 75. A group of Westerners came, and many people respect him, you know. Then a group of Westerners came, and he has no possessions. And then they asked him, if you need anything, so we will help you. You know? And he said, I have Bodhisattva. I have everything. You know? See. When next day they came to receive some teachings, instead of their giving money, he gave them 1 rupee each, you know. One rupee is like no few cents, and a few cents, you know. So like that, they feel rich. No, don't worry about the money. No. So, Bodhisattva is here mentioned, the jewel mind, the best wealth. That's the wish-granting jewel. So, practice Bodhisattva. See. So that says, all those who harbored evil in their mind against such lords of generosity, the Buddha's heir, Bodhisattva, will stay in hell, the mighty sage has said. For age is equal to the moment of their malice, you know. Just one story, you know, it's not related to the Bodhisattva, but it's related to a monk. One of Buddha's disciples, a monk, who lives in the cemetery. So he gets food. People who died from the family, leftover, give him food, and wearing ragged clothes, you know. Then he is outside, no house. So he just only meditate. So one time, a family, the father died. The mother, the daughter took the body in the cemetery. The monk was just staying behind the cemetery. No, because in the sunshine, no shelter, air, wind, so his face was dark. No? And sitting like this, you know. The daughter said to the mother, this monk is like a crow, you know. Because his face is dark, you know. It's like this. And Buddha heard of that. Oh, she made a karma to reborn her to 500 lifetime to born a crow. No? And when mother heard of this, she could not tolerate. No, why Buddha said this? No, she didn't mean it. No, she didn't say this out of anger. No, just feeling of fun, you know. And then she rushed immediately to Buddha and explained. I heard you Buddha said, my daughter will reborn in the crow life for 500 times, you know. She didn't mean it, and she didn't say this out of hatred or anger, you know. Just as a child, you know, what he looks like, you know, she said it. Buddha said, that's right, you this monk who's practicing Dharma, just she said it. And that because of that, because she thought that in her mind, so she'll born 500 lifetime in the claw. If she would have said with anger or hatred, then she will be born in the hell realm. Like this, So these karmas are so kind of sensitive, So for all our Dharma study practice is connected to the karma. Buddha has practiced for 3 limitless eons. It's all connected to causality. He was purifying all those negative karma and accumulating all this positive cause to achieve enlightenment. That's why also our reason, see 10 virtues, 10 non-virtues, such a precise, so clear that we keep the 10 virtues. Remind ourselves if I'm doing this correct or not. And purify, not engage any of the 10 non-virtues. It's not, as mentioned, it's not Buddha's creation or Buddhist belief. It's that how it manifests in reality. So these are the very important. Always we watch our mind and what we say. This makes we feel so grateful Buddha's teaching, the wisdom Buddha has. The very precise of the causality. So only Buddha's wisdom can perceive, can see. Even Bodhisattva, also the 10 bhumis, cannot see precisely. Milarepa said to Kampopa, emptiness, through the analysis, you can get some idea what emptiness means. You analyze, you investigate, that you can prove that this house is empty, how things functions within emptiness. But Milarepa said, it's very difficult to see the karma, subtlety of the karma. Was the other day we were talking about Milarepa's enlightenment, So Milarepa could see this. So he explains to his disciple, say, you have to take care of the karma. This is also our practice of Dharma. How important. Buddha himself followed the Dharma. Follow the karma. Because Buddha himself cannot transcend the karma. He has to accept the karma. Sometimes we feel, Buddha can do anything, this and that. Or they're showing magic powers, this and that, But in reality, Buddha precisely have to follow the karma. The Nagarjuna, great teacher, Buddha prophesied his coming. He lived for 600 years, suppose, So how he died, see. his friend, Nagarjuna's friend, sponsor, the king, has a prince. Then one day, mother made such a beautiful cloth and gave to him. Say, son, you wear this. And then the son, she wanted him wear that from that day, but he packed the beautiful cloth, expensive, packed. And then next day, she asked, son, why you are not wearing this cloth? And he said, this is so beautiful. I don't want to wear this now. I want to wear this when I become king. So until father dies, son cannot become king, So then mother said, you will not have time to become king. And he said, why? Because Nagarjuna can live as long as he wants. And Nagarjuna accepted, until he dies, your father will not die. And then the son was so upset. If I don't become king, then I will not wear this. So he wanted to be king, so much. But as soon as he heard this, he was so depressed, not even eating food. So then he said to mother, what should I do? I really want to become king. So as a mother, who cares her child so much, So she said, maybe there's a method, this may work. Nagarjuna is a great Bodhisattva. You ask his head, please give me your head. Then, means Nagarjuna die, then your father will die. You can become king. So then he went to Nagarjuna. I'm here to beg your head, so please give me. So Nagarjuna understood, realized it's time to go now. Whether this child is there or not, it's time to leave his body. But he want to purify his leftover karma. Said, you cut my head, And Nagarjuna, as you see, the mathematical teacher, totally realized the emptiness. Perfectly realized emptiness. So his body, appearance, and emptiness inseparable. When the child tried to cut Nagarjuna's head, it's like your knife throwing in the air, never touches. Nagarjuna said, oh, I remember, I have to pay a karma. Limitless eons ago, I was born as a shepherd. And during that time, I cut a grass. And with that, I killed an insect through that grass, cut the insect's head. So this karma left. So tomorrow you bring the grass and you cut my head. So the child, this son, brought the bundle of grass and cut Nagarjuna's head. So see, like that. Karma is such, so powerful. So we have to, take care of the karma. That's, I think, very important. We practice. No matter how much we get, we have to repay. Repay. payback. So in the jewel ornament of liberation, the section of the karma, you see, my own karma is I'm responsible totally. This karma I cannot ignore. This will not go anywhere. It follows me life after life. And virtue, non-virtue, very strictly manifests the result. So like this, you see. So study more about the karma. It's very important. Sometimes when you practice like Mahamudra or this highest views, everything transcends into the emptiness. They vanish all in the emptiness. We say, since their nature itself is emptiness, so it cannot transcend. It's inseparable. Okay, and then what we have, see here, then 35 we have here, that's right, said, however, if someone has an extremely clear mind, believe in such person, its fruit will multiply for far more than that. For even in the most acute situations, triumphant offspring never will generate anything negative. Rather, their positive actions naturally increase. But joyous and devoted thoughts will yield abundant fruits in greater strength. Even in great trouble, Bodhisattvas never bring forth wrong. Their virtues naturally increase. So on the other hand, said, if we have a pure respect, so this is Bodhisattva, is on the way to enlightenment, will benefit so many sentient beings. These Bodhisattvas are source of peace, wisdom, compassion. When we have that kind of mentality, devotion, so that yields greater benefit than negative thoughts. Even Buddha here, what he's saying here is, yield happiness. Even in the great troubles, there's great Bodhisattvas who are in the trouble. Sometimes they encounter, so no food, no clothes, no shelter, no wealth, everything falls into part. Still during those times, they can handle. They can handle the situation positively as a purification. Even the world turn into the negative trouble, they will utilize those for the enlightenment as a purification. As the other day we spoke about, such, the Bodhisattva who gets sick, no food, no medicine. On above that, other people look down on them, during those times. This is such a great opportunity. Purification. I bear this for my purification of the karma. I bear this to develop greater compassion. There are so many in the world who are suffering so much, worse than me. No support. So I substitute my suffering for them. So build courage. This is one case of Jigten Sumgun, you know, when he was in the retreat. He was retreat 7 years. So at the end of his life, he was sick so badly. And there's no one who comes to see him, asking, are you sick? What you need? Then he felt so difficult. So what I should do? I may die any moment. No. So right at that moment, then he recalled the Bodhisattva that he was practicing. There are so many sentient beings in the samsara who are worse than me. Even I'm now sick so badly, but I have a courage, or I have such kind of method to free from samsara. I have the teaching, such profound teaching I have. I'm much better off than any in the samsara. So looking at the suffering of the sentient beings, endless, so much. So the tears built in his eyes. So that practice, the Bodhisattva brought into his heart, and he just put so much emphasis on this. And at that moment, within few days, all his negative karma purified, free from his sickness. So, like this, So Bodhisattva has that kind of ability. Because of Bodhisattva, so we see this and encourage ourselves and practice, you see. That was called, even in great troubles, they say, the Bodhisattvas never bring forth wrong, see. It will not go wrong. Instead, all becomes a method for the enlightenment, getting rid of all the obstacles. So therefore, we appreciate the Bodhisattva, we respect Bodhisattvas. They are on the way to enlightenment. Since their Bodhisattva is a matter of time, they will become Buddha. So from that point of view, respect. See, this. So their virtues naturally increase, you see. All the atrocity, problems, obstacles they face, instead they're going wrong, they would utilize to increase bodhicitta, purification for enlightenment. So there's a power of the bodhicitta. So we always keep that in our heart. Then at the end he said, 36 verse, I frustrate the bodies of those in whom the sacred state of mind, the gem, has arisen. I take safe direction from those sources of bliss, who join to bliss even those who harm them. To them, here in this book, to them in whom this precious jewel of mine is born, to them I bow. The first line, the two lines said, I pay respect with my heart feeling that who has Bodhisattva as the Buddha, such a precious, precious jewel of mine. See, as we spoke about, the best jewel, not the jewel of the rocks, but the jewel of the consciousness of Bodhisattva, source of courage, wisdom, compassion, source of peace for every sentient being, source of happiness. No, that's the greatest jewel. So seeing that qualities, so I bow down, I pay respect. And I go for refuge to those springs of happiness, who bring their very enemies to perfect bliss. See? Kala singya tambar rinji de kebe de kula chasish. Kala nyoba chakya dendawa. Dewen chungdu bula japsuchis, you see. Here, see, go for refuge to those springs of happiness, who bring their very enemies to perfect bliss. See? This is the quality of the Bodhisattva. Those who harm to the Bodhisattvas, instead, say, bringing harm back. So, what I can do to help you? No? See? So, what I say, tell me what I can do for you. From that, say, some kind word to the complete enlightenment. As you can see in the Buddha's life story in Jakarta, the lot of accounts there, stories there. All the different types of enemies. Even Buddha's himself life as a Buddha. That's the mention. Ajata Shatru, Devadatta, they constantly harm Buddha. And Buddha always said, what I can help you. No? Never ever thought of revenge, destroy them, bring suffering to them. Instead, how I can help them, how I can bring them in the right place, bring peace, happiness. Right now, we may not have that kind of power, but at least we say, I will not harm anybody. No, I will abstain from harming these individuals. Then eventually maybe I can help. So at least like that. So Buddha's teaching, you see these two things. If I cannot help, I will not harm. See. And it's just these two words. If I cannot help, I will not harm. Keep this in our mind. No? Then from there we start. How I can help. No? It means helping others means helping ourselves. More you help others, you get more to yourself. It's the corresponding of the karma. So Bodhisattvas, they are so wise in the karma, the role of the karma. They know so well about the karma, causality. So they know how to handle. So we meditate like this, practice, study. So we just, these 2 days we just went these 36 verses. Just, I don't have enough wisdom to explain, but just touch basic what it means. So you can learn more from this. It has such vast meaning. You see, this is the wisdom of the Buddha. You see. So what a wonderful teachings. It's bring in your heart, not just intellectual. There are other in the world, they are studying Buddhism as the academic, just to understand what Buddha said, what Buddhists believe, And here we as a Buddhist, we don't learn that much, but we learn how to practice, to use in our daily life. As I mentioned, we all desire to free from suffering, and this is how to do this. We desire to have peace and happiness, and how to bring that, regardless we are rich or poor. But Dharma can make us rich. Wealth of the Bodhisattva is priceless. Okay, shall we have a short break? And then any questions you have, we can discuss. You good?